Oke guys, balik lagi sekarang aku mau coba game namanya Magdalena. Ini sih tulisannya adventure gitu ya, dan first person, tapi nggak tahu. Coba kita coba aja apakah ini akan ada horor-horornya atau enggak. Let's see. Oh, what's this? Kita langsung respon di sini. Oke. Is there anything that I can use? No flashlight. Kita nggak punya center. What's this? September 27, 1989, Baltimore, Maryland, first entry. This is my first entry and I don't know where to start at all. Me too, I don't know where to start at all. I cannot say that my vocabulary is poor or that imagination and creativity aren't my forte. Yet, looking at these pristine white pages, I am powerless. I guess I should start by introducing myself. My name is George. Oh, George the monkey. Today is my 18th birthday. I live in Baltimore on Morton Street. I am a recluse and rarely go out of my house. Being in people's company tends to oppress me, not because I consider myself superior to others, merely because I've had a throat injury as a young boy, and a few months later a tongue injury, which has left me mute for the most of my adult life and unsuitable for society. Oke, basically dia bilang dia 18 tahun, dia nggak bisa bersosialisasi karena dia cedera, karena dia punya sakit tenggorokan dan sakit lidah, jadi dia tunawicara ya, tidak bisa berbicara. Oke, next. Oh shoot, nextnya ada, oh nggak. I I have no friends. Only books make up my everyday society, and today my closest companion shared this holiday with me. My parents and my teacher. My teacher Joseph was hired by my mother because she is strongly against specialized school. He is very pragmatic in everything, even his gift. He gave me, just like every previous birthday before, a pack of notebooks and a bunch of pens. I can't blame him for it. I genuinely believe this is a good gift, but honestly, this gift feels somewhat soulless. My father, a man madly in love with the books, I think I inherited this. I think I inherited this trait from him. Gave me, unsurprisingly, a book by some old author with a short last name. The title of the book had something to do with glow stick ornaments, but I can't say for sure since I've already placed the book on the shelf. My father declared that this author is a great man and that he lived in our city. Undoubtedly, I will read this book at some leisurely moment. Okay. So basically dia punya teacher namanya Joseph. Mungkin dia home homeschooled kali ya. Dia sekolahnya di rumah ya. Karena dia orang tuanya yang nge-hire guru buat dia, dan dia juga dikasih gift nggak sih, buku ya kan. Notebooks, buku tulis ya, dan alat tulis dan pulpen. Oke. Tapi dia menganggap itu nggak berguna bagi dia, dan dia merasa dia suka baca buku itu karena diturunkan dari orang tuanya, dari ayahnya yang suka membaca buku juga. Dan ayahnya ngasih dia buku dari penulis lama yang namanya pendek, nama belakangnya pendek, dan ada ornamen-ornamennya. Cuma dia udah lupa karena udah taruh di shelf. Mungkin kita nanti harus nyari itu. My mother, the only person in the world who understands me without words, gave me this journal in which I keep my entries. In my opinion, this gift is the best because I have long dream of honing my writing skills, and memoirs will be a good start. My muteness is my curse, as I am almost always filled with thoughts and emotion that, for obvious reason, I cannot express to anyone around me. It's already late and it's time for me to finish. I will continue writing in this journal when I have something to share. Perhaps someday it will serve me some purpose. Oke, aku bingung. Dia tadi bilang dia nggak merasa berguna kalau gift dari gurunya itu notebook dan pena. Padahal kan itu bisa buat nulis, tapi dia merasa gift dari ibunya itu malah malah berguna loh. Karena dia bisa nulis jurnal. What's what's the fucking difference, man? What's the difference? Oh, this is our house. Music plays. Masih lengkap. What's this? Oh, pintu ke belakang. Who's this? Ancient civilization. Is that his mom? Okay. No, no, I don't want to go out. I want to go upstairs. Can I go inside the room? No? What should I do then? Can I go here? No? Notebook. Today is Saturday and I have another day off following yesterday's impulse. I woke up early, grabbed a book and headed out. Briskly walking towards the park, the usually tranquility evoked by the coolness and whiteness of the surrounding world dissipated the restlessness, seeped into my thoughts and movements, and unfamiliar agitation. I walk, often turning in the wrong direction and occasionally comically, what word? And occasionally comically slipping on icy curbs. With only one thought in my mind, I desperately wanted to see my conversation partner from yesterday as soon as possible. I wasn't concerned about what I would say to her or how I would appear in her eyes. I simply wanted to be in her company for just a little while longer. Oh, he got a girlfriend. Dia punya pacar. The park greeted me with a striking emptiness. There are rarely many people there in the morning, but today there wasn't a soul in sight. Feeling devastated and disappointed, I wandered along the perimeter of the park, scanning the distant passing cars, the windows of the surrounding houses, and simply the surroundings, searching for a prominently visible black silhouette against the snowy backdrop. After about an hour of this monotonous, or I would even say insane circling around the park, I grew tired and decided to wait in the gazebo. As I approached it, I noticed that I had a neighbor in the gazebo once again, dressed in black, perched on one of the railings. A large raven sat with an air of importance, its intelligent beady eyes staring into my soul with an unnerving stillness. I don't know what drew the bird's attention to me, but I suddenly felt a chill. And although I had never believed in anything as so terrific, I decided to sit as far away from the bird and possible because its gaze filled me with a tremulous horror. The fear of the encounter merged with the fear of the dreadful bird and extinguished any desire to read. So I sat there idle. After spending a couple of hours in the gazebo and completely freezing, I decided to return closer to the evening. Coming back home and warming up, I decided that the wait would be long again, so I needed to prepare it. I dressed warmer and took the thermos with hot tea and book with me. Approaching the park, anticipation jitters attacked me once again. The park was no longer as deserted as in the morning, but there were still few people around. Even from a distance, despite the early winter twilight, I could tell that there was not a single person in black, which calmed my nerves, and I walked the final steps to the park in tranquility. I decided to postpone the perimeter walk of the park for the moment when I would freeze completely and head straight into the gazebo. The gazebo was empty. The feathered visitor from the netherworld had vanished. most likely flying back to the depth of hell. That's reassured me. By midnight, I managed to read the book from the cover to cover and convince myself that there was no point in waiting any longer. With a firm intention to return here tomorrow, I gathered my belongings and headed home, finishing the last sips of tea. Approaching my house, I felt an indistinct fear take hold of my soul, and there were reasons for it. The streets were unnaturally empty, and the darkness was overly dense. I felt like I was floating in it from one small island of light to another. The culmination of my eerie journey was an awful familiar large raven perched motionless on a branch near my house. The repulsive bird watched me intently as I walked by. Its horrifying, intelligent gaze sent shivers down my spine, though I cannot explain why. Entering the entrance hall, I mechanically checked the email and grabbing a piece of paper, hurriedly ran home. After catching my breath and undressing, I quietly entered my room. In the room, I noticed that I was holding a letter in my hand with my name written on it. I provide. Dan gila panjang banget bro. Oh ini udah terakhir. Dear George, I am writing you a letter because I currently have no opportunity to meet you in person. Tonight I will leave town and I will return in a month. I forgot my book at your place. Let's meet in the park in a month at the same time. Until we meet again, your friend Magdalena. Oh, Magdalena tuh partner teman cewek kita, Magdalena. The method by which I learned this name was rather elaborate, I must admit. But I have fewer questions for this girl. For some reason, how did she learn the number of my apartment? I strain my memory painfully, but I can't say for sure when I told her or if I even did. Ya kan dia mute ya, dia nggak bisa ngomong ya. Today I realized one thing. I've had enough of the streets. I will spend this month at home in my bedroom. Wait, itu note 3. Note 2-nya mana? Kok nggak ada note 2 sih? Oh, is this note? Wait. It's only been 2 days since my last meeting. Itu 10 Maret ya. Coba. Ini. Kok nggak ada ininya? What? Kursinya? Kursinya gerak. The fuck, man? Kirain kita bisa sama TV-nya. Who's this? Is that Magdalena? Coba kita keluar. Ada note nggak di luar? Harusnya nggak ada ya note ya. Oh ini. Oh bukan. Kelihatannya sih note-nya cuma satu doang. I'm afraid. This is not one, right? Good. September 27, 1989. Kenapa harus kayak gini sih suasananya? I'm just fucking scared, guys. This is creepy. Kenapa jalan keluarnya ke halang pohon gitu loh? Kenapa? Tadi note 3. Terus ini note berapa? Yang di sini. Either way, let's read. It's only been 2 days since my last meeting with Magdalena, but I can't wait to see her again. I neglected journaling for the past couple of months, so I'll describe now what has happened to me during that time. Firstly, we met in the park as agreed on the morning of 20th February. She thanked me for returning the book intact and suggested exchanging numbers and going for a walk in the evening of the same day. I agreed without hesitation. I had never met such interesting people before, willing to engage with me, and I couldn't afford to miss such an opportunity. In the evening of the same day, we met near the Enoch Pratt Library, and after picking up a few books recommended by Magdalena, I suggested walking to Riverside Park and reading them there. But Magdalena insisted that I read those books at home. We strolled and talked. Then I noticed that she has an otherworldly love for early German philosophy, which surprised me greatly, as I had never encountered people with similar tastes before. As it turned out, Magdalena is one younger than me, which further astonished me because her erudition was mind-boggling and her intellectual prowess rivaled that of the overwhelming majority of adults. I was mistaken to assume that she belonged to a young subculture. As she explained to me, I simply love the color black. According to her, the birds sang her my apartment. According to her, the birds sang her my apartment number. Oh, this light-hearted joke had a slightly strange effect on me. I immediately thought of an eerie raven, and it sent shivers down my spine. It seems that this reflected on my face as Magdalena burst into laughter and reminded me that I myself had told about it. Although I don't remember saying that, I felt relieved knowing that I couldn't associate her with the image of the unpleasant bird, so I pretended to recall it. Serem guys, Magdalena ini siapa sih? Bisa kayak gitu ya dia ya? Dia bilang dia ini apartemen numbernya si George ini dinyanyiin sama burung ke dia, makanya dia bisa tahu karena George kan nggak mungkin ngasih tahu, dia kan bisu kan. After that evening, we often After the evening, we often spoke on the phone and met up. I would have spent this evening with the phone by my ear as well if Magdalena hadn't left the city 2 days ago. Oh, she left. Secondly, Joseph fell seriously ill at the end of February. I visited him several times. Yesterday, he called me and said that he was feeling slightly better. I truly hope for his speedy recovery. The books that Magdalena recommended to me have provided me with much food of thought, and I would like to discuss it with him. Additionally, the end of the school year is approaching, and I need to prepare for university entrance exams. I don't think I will fail them, but preparation has never harmed anyone. Thirdly, my father said that if I study to become a journalist, he will buy me a house in the suburbs of Baltimore and try to arrange a position for me in a young magazine, as he established connection with the local editorial team. My father's actions rarely deviate from his words, so I am calm that in the future I will be able to dedicate myself to writing without worrying about immediate housing and employment issues. Dinner time is approaching, the clock will soon strike the hour, so I will conclude on this optimistic note. Okay, Magdalena left. Uh, should I stay or should I? Oh, bukannya pakai F. Is this our bedroom or our parents' bedroom? Di situ ada notes, ada jurnal, tapi aku mau lihat dulu. What's this? Deep Psychology. Kita baca yang ini dulu. Kok nggak bisa? Kok nggak bisa? Bukannya tadi bisa. Press E. Loh? Nah, udah bisa. 10th July 1995. While going through my room today, I discovered this old journal. How long has it been since I wrote anything in it? I had already forgotten that I had such a treasure. So much has happened to me in the past couple of years that I don't even know where to begin. Well, firstly, university studies have been going very smoothly, and my father has already bought me a house as he promised. I work part-time at a local newspaper, which has given me some money that I used to buy myself a car. Secondly, Magdalena has become my closest friend. We communicate constantly. She is a true treasure trove of information, and sometimes it seems like she knows everything. She helps me in finding information for my articles. She still adores German philosophers and wears black clothes. She hasn't changed a bit. Thirdly, Joseph has been seriously ill several times and has now stopped working altogether. He has become very reclusive and We communicate only through correspondence. Living alone in my own house can be boring, so I want to propose to Magdalena to keep me company. I hope I have the courage to make such a proposal to her. It's time for me to leave. I'll take the journal with me. It will help pass the summer evenings if Magdalena doesn't agree to live with me. Oke. Tadi di jurnalnya di mana? I'll take the journal with me. Okay, I'm riding in the car. Magdalena has agreed to live with me in my house. I help her pack her things, and now I'm waiting for her to get dressed. This is one of the happiest days of my life. I can't wait to show off my new Ford to her. Okay, can I read this? Okay, 10 September 95. According to my notes, today marks 3 months since I've been living with Magdalena. Oke, udah 3 bulan ya tinggal. Tadi dia ngelamar, terus tinggal bareng. Ini dia udah 3 bulan tinggal bareng sama Magdalena. My job at the newspaper is not demanding, which allows me to spend a lot of time with Magdalena, drawing inspiration from our conversation from my articles. We have been inseparable since our first meeting and nothing has changed. Magda has completed her studies and now dedicates all her free time to me. It has been a wonderful summer in many respects, and I'm considering taking our relationship to the new level. I understand that I haven't spent enough time with her and it may be a hasty step, but as selfish as it may sound, I don't want to lose such an interesting friend, my only friend. These thoughts have been lingering in my mind for a while and Magda seems to read them. I often I often catch her giving me a lingering, intense gaze when we sit at the breakfast table. A couple of times she hinted that our house is too big for just the two of us. She bought a white two-seater armchair and placed it in front of the fireplace on the ground floor. And we have spent many evenings there, engaging in conversation of reading aloud. Often on this fresh summer's evening, Magdalena places her cold hand on mine and extracts from the cold ashes of dead philosophy subdued, unusual words whose mysterious meaning is imprinted firmly in my memory. Our readings are permitted with a deathly chill that even the warmth of the fireplace cannot extinguish. But the knowledge I acquire is worth it, and overall, the power of habit is triumphed over the power of sound judgment. And I calmly embrace these abnormal feelings, although it is sometimes difficult to keep myself in check. In those moments, Magda always quiets down and embraces me with such tenderness that fear instantly dissipates. And I am amazed at how keenly she responds to my moods and thoughts that I am unable to articulate. Today I will propose to her to bend our lives to Today I will propose to her to bind our lives before the altar. Mau nikah nih berarti kan? I have already bought the ring and prepared the letter. I have decided the sign language is not suitable for speeches, and since our communication began with a letter from her, a letter with a proposal will make the proper impression, and she will not hesitate for long. I hope for this very much. It is already evening, and I hear Magda calling me to stoke the fireplace, so I wrap up my writing. Oh, berarti dia mau pakai konsep waktu pas pertama kali ketemu, ya kan? Yaitu dengan surat. Dia jelas nggak bisa ngomong, tapi mungkin bisa dibacain sama orang lain gitu kan. Kenapa aku nggak bisa ngaca ya? Kita nggak bisa lihat diri kita sendiri, ini cuma kamera terbang aja nih berarti. Is our car? Wait. Itu merah-merah apa? Mobil kita ya? Kan writing in the car nggak sih? Tadi ada tulisan gitu nggak sih? Shelf di notebook 1 kayaknya ada soal buku. Apakah kita bisa lihat buku? Tidak. Oh, ini dia. Oh, baby. So, do we have a baby? Ini pintunya masih terkunci ya. Kita Kita coba ke fireplace dulu. Fireplace. Fireplace. Ini masih yang tadi. Eh, Gak ada. Okay. Nothing. Kenapa sih? Notebook, belum ada notebook lagi. Nah, kita harus merah-merah apa tadi dari atas? Oke, ada merah-merah. The end. Years will pass and this all leaving no trace behind. But the memory of this event will never disappear from my mind as long as I live. Therefore, this is my final entry. I will speak out, destroy the journal that contains the evidence of my guilt towards myself, and I will destroy, if not myself, then my memory completely, so that this sound, whispered by the winds, heard the roaring of the sea and the mad silence of the night vanishes with me in this darkness that surrounds Magdalene. I can no longer hear that name. I know these writings sound like the ravings of a madman. I myself believe that I have gone insane because I cannot explain my actions and the reasons that prompted me to do them in other way. People who have known me in the past couple of years will say that opium is to blame, to which I became addicted after two great losses. But no, these fools are mistaken. They confuse cause and effect. It was not opium that drove me mad. Oh, no, no. Oh, if only it were that simple. Opium is necessary for me to drown out the pain in my chest, to numb my sense of guilt, to prevent any possibility of thought. Kita masih miss note 2 loh. Kok udah the end aja tiba-tiba? About a month after I had moved to the city in that fateful autumn of 97, I received a letter. It had no stamp and my name was written on it in a trembling yet painfully familiar handwriting. The letter said, "I'm pregnant." Those two words, which struck me with shock, lingered before my eyes for days until I fully grasped their meaning. Driven by an unclear impulse, I rushed towards the door to go to my wife at that very moment, but in the same second, I remembered the painful brilliance of her speaking intelligence, and I broke into a cold sweat, realizing that I couldn't handle it right now. I decided to take a break from my wife. I resolved to work to financially aid in the search of a cure for her strange illness. I decided to detach myself from her. I lost myself in my work. I dissolved like a small stream in a vast ocean. While I worked, I ceased to exist. My problem ceased to exist. Nothing existed, only my hands typing on an unfamiliar computer keyboard and towering wall of papers, newspapers, books, brochures, coffee cups gone cold. In this whirlpool of information, transforming into lengthy articles, I drowned my bitterness and my troubles. I drowned myself. After about 6 months or maybe a little bit longer, a second letter arrived. I'm dying. Two words that once again compelled me to live. This time, the wave of my desire did not crash against the cliffs of memories. I left. I saw the emaciated skeleton wrapped in skin, chained to the bed but possessing an insane power of my consciousness. And I choked back tears, gazing at that disfigured face tormented by pain. I remember the dialogue as if it never happened. As I remember the dialogue as if it happened yesterday. Its word like an electric shock pierced my brain and remained etched there forever. Only opium could help me forget them, but now in sober moment I remember everything very clearly. I don't want to recount that dialogue. I don't want to recount that dialogue verbatim. I would convey only the essence. Magdalena professes a happy life for me. She said that The fruit of the small amount of tenderness I have for her is hidden inside of her and will burst forth immediately, like a final breath when her weakening chest heaves for the last time. But my happiness will not last. Soon it will be replaced by sorrow, the kind of sorrow that is more enduring than the other feeling. The hours of my happiness have passed, and the flowers of joy will not bloom twice in one life, like the roses of passing bloom twice a year. And there will never be another day when I can feel alive. I will be dead inside, and only my fragile shell will connect me to this world. I will be in the same condition as she is now. No one will help me. The hell, panjang banget, gila. And at the end of her speech, which considers feverish ramblings but which I remember for a lifetime, she asked me to be the one who would grant her that confident final breath. I obeyed, placing the pillow over her head. I committed the most abhorrent act a person can commit. I became the executioner. Executioner. As she died, she brought a baby girl into the world. The doctors suspected nothing and diagnosed a heart failure due to illness. I buried her in the backyard. I didn't meet anyone and severed all connection with all with the outside world, dedicating myself entirely to the child. I didn't give her a name. It was necessary. It wasn't necessary. A paternal tenderness. You don't need the words I didn't possess. And since she didn't interact with anyone but me and the nanny teaching her to speak, the need for a name was absent. Terus nggak punya nama dong, gimana caranya manggilnya kalau gitu? So 5 years went by, I began noticing strange metamorphoses in my daughter. Her eyes terrifyingly replicated her mother's eyes. I could have endured their resemblance, but they were exact copies. Absolutely identical. Her voice was painfully familiar and articulated observation that were uncharacteristic of a child. Her face, her body, her hair, her tears, everything was a replica of her mother. And needless to say, it fed a worm in my chest that gnawed at me, my nerves and sana. Jangan-jangan emang Magdalena tuh punya kelainan kan? Dan kalau dia mati, dia lahir kembali. Jadi kayak burung phoenix nggak sih? Makanya ini semuanya sama. When she turns 6, I decided to take her to the church to have her baptized and given a name. At the baptismal font, I hesitated. So many names were swirling in my head that I couldn't decide. It seemed to me that the child was my chance for a better life, or a chance to let go of memories of the deceased. What prompted me to disturb those memories? I wrote these first syllables on a piece of paper and marveled at how they echoed in the priest was Magdalene. I am here. She whispered these words, but even if a bomb had exploded in front of me, it wouldn't have instilled the same animalistic horror that this quiet sound did bitterly. I laughed bitterly for a very long time when, unearthing the grave of the deceased, I placed the second Magdalene into the... The fuck? The fuck? Did he kill his kid? She whispered these words, but even a bomb had exploded in front of me, it wouldn't have instilled the same animalistic horror that this quiet sounded bitterly. I laughed bitterly for a very long time when unearthing the grave of the deceased. What the fuck? I placed the second Magdalene into the empty coffin. What? Berarti aku benar. Magdalene lahir lagi. Is that it? Aku belum dapat ininya loh, achievement notebook yang kedua. Astaga, note 2-nya ini guys, nancap di sini. Astaga, bentar sebelum aku baca aku liatin dulu. Tuh, bisa-bisanya note 2 di sini. Apaan coba? Nanti January 90. I woke up early today. It's my day off because Joseph wasn't feeling well, so I decided to go for a walk since I haven't done so this year. I love the winter freshness. It has calming effect on me as aimlessly wander the streets of Baltimore glistening with silver trees, no trees. My feet led me to west Minster Hall. There's a small cemetery there where I spotted a peculiar triangular dressed in all black. He appeared rather old with gray hair covering his closely cropped head and a neat beard. He stood in front of someone's tombstone, holding three roses and a scrap of paper in his right hand and a half-empty barrel of brandy in his left. He stood motionless and his eyes likely glass sparkled in the morning sun like two sapphires. It was a eerie sight, and I felt the urge to get away from him. The thought of taking a stroll in Riverside Park came to my mind. Once there, I felt a sense of tranquility me washed over me again. Lost in thought, lost in thought, lost in thought. I didn't notice as I sat down in the local gazebo, completely unaware that it was already occupied. A petite girl in a black coat and black jeans was sitting there, engrossed in a book with black cover. I found it amusing that there were no other colors on her, just black. I had heard of the subculture known as goths, but I had never encountered any representative of this race before. Perhaps it was because I rarely left my house. When I noticed this petite neighbor, a strange curiosity, not not at all related to her affiliation with the young and curious subculture, I assure you, made me fixate my gaze on her face. I turned towards the book. Her forehead was high, deathly pale, and unusually clear. The deathly pallor followed my gaze as it wandered over the features of your face. Oh, serem ya dia ya. Her slightly sunken cheeks were covered by a black square of beautiful straight and well-groomed hair. The straight cheekbones slightly protruding above her cheeks accentuated her dark eyes with a slightly narrow gaze. Her plump lips, pale from the cold, moved almost imperceptibly from time to time, indicating that the girl was completely absorbed in her reading and didn't notice me. A small nose with a slightly upturned tip was adorned with a few barely noticeable freckles. I held my breath as I watched. There was something elusive in those features, captivating. I couldn't take my eyes off of her face. Like a fly caught in a spider's web, I fell under her spell, and the more I tried to look away, the stronger the attraction of her face became for my dress. Judging by the fact that I am recording all of this in the evening, we must have spent not just 1 hour together. It flew by like a moment. When she closed the door and turned her gaze towards me, a shiver ran through my entire body. Kayaknya favorite vocabulary dia shiver ya, dari berapa not apa lainnya juga shiver shiver. I parted my lips slightly when our minds met. The depth of her gaze was intimidating, as if I had peered into an abyss. Her gaze convincingly proclaimed a daunting intellect. Nevertheless, she smiled brightly at me, noticing my bewildered look. Her beautiful, even framed by colorless lips, slightly roughened by exposure to the cold, etched themselves into the recesses of my mind. Even now, I see them as clearly as if I could touch them. She asked me a few questions, but I gestured that I couldn't speak, so she assumed I had a cold and couldn't speak due to a sore throat. But I disproved her assumption by baring my neck, marked by an old scar. Indescribable sadness distorted her face. She offered to accompany me home. I don't know what prompted her desire, but I agreed, immediately responding to her in sign language. Surprisingly, she understood me. As we walked home, it turned out that her mother was also mute. Oh, that's why she understood. She understands, which explained her knowledge of sign language. The conversation flowed continuously. She turned out to be a very erudite young woman. As we talked, she revealed that she had read Immanuel Kant, which was quite uncommon for girls her age. Handing me the book, she began a lecture on me, foundations of the metaphysics of morals. Honestly, these words mean absolutely nothing to me. I have a weak understanding of their significance, and I mentioned the title of the book only because it lies in front of me and I can simply copy it. However, the enthusiasm and expertise with which she spoke about it made me tremble in awe of her erudition. I couldn't get enough of her melodious voice. I couldn't divert my attention from her and her words, so I completely failed to notice how we arrived at my house. We bid farewell and she continued walking down the street. It was getting dark. The street lights flickered on and her figure framed by the yellowish artificial light, flashed before my eyes, gradually diminishing and soon dissolving into the whiteness of the surrounding snow. Now sitting in front of the journal, I wondered why I didn't ask her name and why is this burning curiosity gnawing at me from within, filling my head with unfamiliar thoughts? I have decided that tomorrow I will go to the park again. She forgot her book, and I'm sure she will be looking for me in the park or somewhere near my house. I will use the book as a conversation starter. Berarti benar. Pertama, dia baca buku yang topiknya nggak sesuai umurnya dia, bacanya metafisik, dan dia memang ternyata berasal dari dunia metafisik karena dia pada akhirnya dia meninggal tapi kemudian lahir lagi, dan waktu pas Magdalena yang kedua dikubur ternyata petinya udah kosong. Jadi gitu dulu guys, sungguh cerita yang menarik walaupun agak membosankan ya. Kita cuma baca-baca diary aja. But sebenarnya kalau dibikin game horror ini potensial sih, karena ceritanya lumayan seru. Karena meninggal ternyata lahir lagi gitu. What an epic story that was. Kalau misalnya dibikin jadi story game yang seperti apa kayak Resident Evil gitu ya, I think it's gonna be good. But I hope they make the game. So that is it guys. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Don't forget to share to your friends. Thank you.